Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator news and updates. We have quite a few updates and announcements that are coming down the road today, so stick around and find out what they are. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides for Microsoft Flight Simulator, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future updates and future guides that will be coming down the road. Link to Patreon can be found in the description below. Okay, so first up is we have Microsoft Flight Simulator World Update 8. Should be releasing tomorrow, Thursday, March 24th at 900 Zulu. With that, we're going to see updates to Spain and Portugal. Obviously, we're going to see much of what we see with some of the other world updates, visual improvements, new airports, as well as 99 points of interest. There's supposed to be some new missions, and again, the photogrammetry in the cities. FS Elite has a very good article on it, really breaking it down. Now, I'm sort of hoping to see further improvements to the performance of the simulator, but again, without having any idea what the changelog is going to look like. I know what that's always projected, but I've learned with Microsoft Flight Simulator, you sort of can't really go by the change logs or the scheduled date, and that's not necessarily a shot on them. I completely understand how software development works, so it's one of those that I don't want to comment on any improvements we're supposed to see until they actually hit that change log the morning we launch it. So cross your fingers, guys, because that's what I'm hoping for the most. Of course, the world updates are always nice and beautiful. I was certainly very appreciative when we had it here in Tucson, but again, I would like to see further increases to the overall performance of the simulator. Especially when we're having such high-end graphic cards still not being able to hit the FPS that we would all expect. So I'm sort of more leaning towards that. Further stability, crossing my fingers for that, stability, improvement to the performance, and then of course, yes, I'm definitely going to be enjoying the Portugal and Spain improvements that we're going to see with the World Update 8. Let me know down below what you guys are most hoping for and some points of interest that you're excited about. Okay, and next we have the Aeroplane Heavens DC-3 C-47 is continuing to excel and make progress. Aeroplane Heaven said, in quoting, "We are now very close to release." So any of you who are, for example, fans of the DC-6 should find this a welcome addition to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, the DC-3 is going to come with both a passenger variant as well as a military variant, which could be kind of cool. I don't know if they're actually going to be able to simulate dropping air troopers out of the side or anything like that, but there are some very awesome screenshots that are listed on both Facebook and that you're seeing here on the screen now that really demonstrate well what they are going for. I think it's going to be a pretty awesome aircraft and definitely a great addition, again, alongside with the DC-6. The sound video that they have available on YouTube, again, linked down the description below, the sound very, very good. You can definitely hear that radial rumble of that old DC-3, so it's going to be very cool to have that available. And then them offering the multiple configurations, I think, is a neat twist to the aircraft. I think it's always great when developers add a different aspect of flying it than what what maybe was in the initial intent. So really kind of curious. I think there's only a handful of these even flying left in the world, so it'd be nice to be able to have them flying for us in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're also going to have quite a few passenger airlines available, American Airlines, Delta Airlines, United Airlines, and quite a few others. So it'd be kind of interesting to see those old classic liveries that should be brought in with the DC-3 C-47. So we will definitely be following this one closely, and as soon as we have a release date, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Okay, and Just Flight gave us a little teaser on the PA38 Tomahawk for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's on its way. We have a ton of screenshots showing off the aircraft's interior and exterior, keeping up with the Just Flight pattern here of absolutely incredible quality with the interior and exterior textures, both showing that wear and tear and age and life of the aircraft while maintaining the visual fidelity and clarity of all of the models that are being shown. The PA38 Tomahawk is a little two-seater aircraft that can reach top speeds of approximately 126 miles per hour. I believe it's more of a short range aircraft, so you're going to see it more of as a trainer or just an enjoyable two-seater scenic flyer. But again, so far Just Flight, in my opinion, has put out nothing but fantastic aircraft. So it's just seeing them roll out any new aircraft is always an awesome and exciting moment for me when I see that name behind it. They really shook the world when they announced their or when they rolled out their Warrior. In my opinion, I think they absolutely nailed it, and the rate of their updates are nice and consistent. So anytime that I see Just Flight in front of an aircraft name, it definitely piques my interest and gets me ready to break out the wallet, as I'm sure most of you feel the same way. Let me know what you guys think about the idea of a PA38 Tomahawk. Again, very tiny little airplane, so tell me what you think down below. Flybywire strikes again, and this time focusing on immersion. I can absolutely appreciate this one. They have showcased, and a link down the description below, complete new sounds both inside and outside the aircraft. Anything from realistic ambience that you would hear down in the cockpit all the way back to the cabin area, hearing passengers talking, chit-chatting, as well as hydraulic and hinge functioning sounds on the doors from the outside. Really taking some emphasis in improving the sound quality of the Flybywire A320, which I think is just, again, wonderful. I have said it on numerous occasions throughout different simulators and different aircraft that sound is something that is very often, unfortunately, overlooked as part of the immersive process that's necessary to truly create that simulated environment. You can have the most gorgeous interior and exterior textures. You can have the most perfect flight model and just terrible sounds, and it will kill everything else because you can never really get yourself into that immersion of flying these aircraft because your brain knows the sound is all wrong. You're not hearing the things that you should be hearing on certain maneuvers or in certain situations, and that can really impact your ability to enjoy the aircraft. And again, I have seen it so many times with multiple payware products where the sound is really left behind. So once again, we have a freeware developer taking the stage and kicking that goal and the requirements up another notch by increasing the sound. I was super excited to hear about this one because I love the Flybywire A320. I'm in the process right now of almost rewriting my tutorial guide for it because it's such a fantastic product. I want to stay up to date. And so when I saw this, it really just made the hair on the back of my neck stand up and absolutely had me super excited. There was also a couple other things that are coming down the road, additional ground service equipment, some updated LNAV information. And then there's so much more. We'll talk about the rest of those later. You know, I don't want to get on a tangent because I will. But once again, Flybywire, continue to do what you do. You guys are blowing it away. I'm super excited for this. This is a post that caught me by surprise. Milviz is coming out with a Cessna 310. I have to admit, I didn't even know that this aircraft was in progress by Milviz. Now, I love their Corsair. The Corsair is one of my favorite aircraft to go up and tool around, and I think Milviz did a fantastic job modeling it. I wish they'd bring it over to DCS World. I think that would be incredible. And then hearing that they have a Cessna 310 in development. Here we do have a short video, and again, a link to this will be down in the description below if you guys want to check it out. We don't have any word from any of the developers, anything going on, but you can at least see the aircraft in action and hear a bunch of the sounds that are available for the aircraft. The Cessna 310 was in its peak between 1954 and 1980 and had almost 1,000 nautical mile range at maximum cruise speed. Now, this aircraft, in my opinion, I'm not quite sure why it didn't have better popularity. I think it's actually a really cool looking airplane. I'm totally going to be grabbing this one once it's available, and it's really exciting to see. Again, this was sort of a peak of my interest when I saw it because I didn't even know it was in development. So I figured if I'm not aware, chances are many of you guys probably aren't either, as I follow this stuff. At least I try to follow it fairly closely. So again, Milviz, Cessna 310. We have some great footage down below. Make sure you guys check it out and check out those sounds and the functionality in the cockpit that are displayed in this video. And I'll definitely be watching and let you know when it becomes available. Aerosoft finally giving us some previews of their A330 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. You can see a ton of details being put into the modeling every strip and rib that is associated with this particular aircraft, as well as giving us some insight to what we can expect for features. Here's a screenshot of the EFB, the electronic flight bag, giving us some insight to the kind of features and customization that we're going to have as far as loading and fueling the aircraft. And again, I really enjoy the fact that they immediately display the ability to set the time versus instant, realistic, or fast. As many of you have probably known by now, even with the Flybywire A320 that I love so much, refueling and passenger loading, instant. I hate waiting. I am very impatient. But anyway, so super excited to hear that the A330 is coming down the line. It'll be nice to have another Airbus coming to the community. The A330 is a significantly larger aircraft than the A320, so it'd be nice to have those big roaring engines coming down the road. It'd be interesting to see the A300 series continue to grow in Microsoft Flight Simulator. As we also know, way back in the back of the line here, we have an A380 coming down the line from a certain amazing team called Flybywire. So again, A320, A330, we have a second A320 coming out from the Phoenix. We have now this A330, we have an A380 rolling down. So the Airbus series from Microsoft Flight Simulator is really getting a lot of attention. So really cool to see, and can't wait to see more information as it becomes available. And the last one here that I wanted to make sure hits some attention, because I know it gets a lot of attention. You guys really enjoy this. FS2 Crew Aerosoft CRJ edition is now announced and released for 1999 euros. Now, keep in mind, for those of you who are unaware, FS2 Crew basically gives you a co-pilot in the seat. All of your actions and your co-pilot's actions can be controlled through voice commands or keybind commands that are available through a very unique menu. I messed with this a very long time ago, haven't really touched it since, but that's for no fault of the product. The product is a very good product. I just am one of those ones who enjoys pushing all the buttons and things myself. That's the whole reason why I still do a lot of manual programming in the MCDUs for the A320. But FS2 Crew is a very, very well-written system, and the functionality is almost always right on par and really brings a lot of immersion and feature-rich controls that can be done all through voice commands that, again, really enhance that immersive action while you're in the simulator. I would say it is a very, very handy tool for you VR flyers out there. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, make sure that you check that out on Aerosoft's website. FS2 Crew's website, and grab your edition for the CRJ. Well, my friends, that is going to wrap up Microsoft Flight Simulator news. Let's hope for an awesome update tomorrow for World Update 8. Let's hope it brings us some great features and some performance improvements that we've been hoping for the simulator. The simulator has certainly come a very long way, so it's definitely turning into something that is something I think that we can be proud of. It's made some very significant improvements. But as new news comes out and new updates to these aircraft become available, I'll make sure to keep you guys alerted of such changes. Until then, folks, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the skies of the simulator.